Good morning, good people. Today is Tuesday, the 28th of October, 2025. My name is Edward Belpaqua, and here we are once again at Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help our students and interested people on their journey through this life. Boom, that's it. No big deal. Actually, it is a big deal. It's the biggest deal. Because if you believe we have a transcendent soul, you have to believe something about, well, why are we alive? Why are we in the world of matter as opposed to the world of soul? The soul world, why are we in this universe? So it's kind of a big deal. We don't think about it until the end. And that is part of the problem. The problem. That is a good segue to the theme of today's talk. Today's podcast is the problem. The problem. All right, but before we do that, let's look at what else we got here on our hit parade. Advice from an 80-year-old. Beware of the person who has nothing to lose. And that was part of the problem. The story I'm going to talk about a little bit later. How about Seth Godin? What does Seth have to tell us? Seth Godin, 900,000 versus 9. It takes about 900,000 minutes to become a board-certified dermatologist. At that point, you might be very skilled and well-informed. Let's see what that is. Let's take that down. Let's just get our quick little calculator. 900,000 divided by 60 is 15,000 hours. 15,000 hours divided by 2,000. About 7.5 years. Okay, cool. QL de Ville. No. Okay, just got a text from Robert Bush, the president of NAN. Okay, so the president of NAN. Great, that's a real compliment. Okay, where were we? I got distracted by that. That was such an unexpected welcomed surprise. Okay, oops. Okay, 900,000 versus 9. It takes about 900,000 minutes to become a board-certified dermatologist. At that point, you might be very skilled and well-informed. You should be. 15,000 hours, about 7.5 years of full-time work. It takes less than 9 minutes to make your patient feel seen, understood, and reassured. If you skip the 9 minutes, you wasted the 900,000. Good point. Does that apply for everything? Let's say you own a restaurant Took you 900,000 minutes to get to where you are. But as we saw in the Darren Hardy video last week, if you don't do the simple basic things, acknowledge and appreciate guests when they walk in the door, the 900,000 minutes of preparing doesn't matter. And how do you get your people to get that? Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. Darren Hardy had a good one today. The top 1% guard their associations like trade secrets. Let's see, what was that? I remember thinking that's good, but obviously it wasn't good enough. Good enough. Okay, what else? Today is day 2 in week 4. This is the 4th week, the last week of the class. Next week it starts over. So it's a 4-week cycle, 28-day cycle. Do not miss a day in the 28 days. It's just like being a farmer or having a farm. You've got animals that need to be fed 365 days a year. All kinds of chores you need to do every day. So that's this class, 28 days. And I would suggest people do it, maybe do the 28-day course, take a couple months off, and go back and do it again. Take a couple months off, go back and do it again. So you eternalize the stuff that's on there. If you do it every month, if you just keep repeating the program, the book, the workbook, if you keep doing the workbook every week, your brain will tend to be, oh, I already know that. As opposed to you skip a little bit and be, oh, I didn't realize that the first time. Oh yeah, this has got more depth than I thought it had. Oops. Okay, so let's get to the guts of it. Let's get to the guts. Scalpel, please. Sharp scalpel. Rusty scalpel. Okay. Let's get to the guts of it. The problem. Last night at about 6 o'clock, 6:30, I got a call saying, can you come over here? We're trying to figure this thing out. So I go there. There is the Reset Church near Smythe's. And there's 3 guys outside. 2 I knew, 1 I did not know, did not recognize. He was a stranger to me. Agitated, won't make eye contact. Basically, his story that took a long time to get out of him was that he was in Pahrump. He got a violation for registration or insurance or something. Failure to appear. Moved to Minton, wherever that is, somewhere in Nevada. Moved up there, and a bench warrant was put out because he failed to appear. Brought him into jail. Brought him to to Pahrump. Faced the judge. He showed the judge that everything was done. He was released in Pahrump at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. No money. having nothing. Because when he was arrested, he was living in a shelter in Minton. No way to get back. No point staying here, in physical pain, overweight, very fat, and highly agitated. To the point, really, where it was, why would anyone want to help this person? He's upset at the system, afraid, frightened, scared, worried. He's got 3 or 4 bags of stuff he's trying to carry around with him. But his attitude is repulsive as opposed to attractive. It's repulsive. I need help. Somebody's got to help me. I need a $117 bus ticket to get back to Minton. I must go there. That's where I want to go. If you're not going to help me get there, up yours. I need somebody to drive me to Vegas to the bus station and buy me a ticket. What's the problem? No one has a duty to do it. The people at the counties just following the law. Oh, this guy's got a bench warrant. Here's, it could be, I got to follow the law. He's got a bench warrant. I got to take him in, got to send him back to Pahrump for his hearing. And whatever happens, that's on him. I'm just doing my job. Somebody that might be a little bit more smart that says, oh yeah, here's a way to get this guy out of Minton. We don't need him in our town. Here's a way to get him out of our town. And we don't want him coming back. So we're not going to bring him back. We're not going to give him a bus ticket or money for a ticket to come back. We don't want him. So people at the sheriff's office up here in the court, it's like, well, Mazel tov, you should have taken care of it before. This is your problem. You brought it upon yourself. And that's certainly one way to look at it. But if you think about it, now we have a homeless guy with no food, no money, somebody who has nothing to lose on the streets. And if we brought him to Vegas, first of all, the problem is he's so huge. It would be problematic to get him there without being only one person could go. So that's the problem. What do you do now? We can now take the problem to another level, which is this could all be a lie. He could be just making up a story. He could have nothing going in Minton. Because when I asked him, first it started with, I have a job. Then when asked, well, would your employer buy the ticket? Well, I haven't started the job, but it's a job. And then when digging down on that a little bit more, it's, well, I haven't actually started my job. And then when you dig it down a little bit deeper, it's kind of like the person at the employment place just gave him hope, felt sorry for him and gave him hope. And it's like, yeah, okay, we'll hire you. Not next week. I don't have a date, but we'll hire you. And that person, might have been, it's just, I want to let him down easy. It looks like the guy's, whatever. But so the whole thing could have been a made-up story. Could have been that because he had nothing from the court, he had no paperwork from the court saying charges dismissed. And then when pressed, he said, well, I threw it away. And it's like, well, why would you throw that away? That's the most important thing. You have all of these 4 bags of stuff. Why would you throw that away? Why would you throw that away? So that's kind of the problem with the problem. The problem with the problem is the people you're trying to help often are the reason people don't help them. And you can look at it that, well, if you can't trust people, if you're to tell the truth, you're not going to tell the truth. Oops. So that's the problem with the problem, is people you're trying to help often make it easy to not help them. And of course, that making it easy means, okay, like I'm only going to help you if I can't find a reason to not help you attitude, right? I can only help you if I can figure out why not to help you. That is often perceived by the person receiving that message as you're lying. And the reality is, no, I'm not lying. I'm trying to find out whether you're lying. Spy versus spy. So that is the problem. What's the solution? Place to take people. The solution is a place to take people. No questions asked at night. There's no questions asked at night. And in the morrow, gone to Vegas, where they have experts, where they have resources. Now, come here, we bring you there. Where they have resources. So that is the problem. You have on one side the system, people just following the rules, going by the letter of the law, and then hiding behind, hey, I'm just doing my job. Not using the spirit of the law. Nobody thinking it through. Well, we're going to put the guy, we arrest the guy, or we detain him, we put him on a bus, we get him to Pahrump. What's going to happen to him? Well, he's either going to get released or he's going to be locked up in their jail. Not my problem. Okay, well, that's part of the problem. The people down here are, we don't really want to put the guy in jail, and we'll punish him by letting him go. For the greater community, do we really want people like that, of nothing to lose, out on the streets at night? Do we? No, we don't. Unfortunately, this is hard scrabble, sharp-elbowed, pistol-packing, rootin'-tootin' people up here. And it either doesn't impact me, so I don't care, or it does impact me, but I'm not going to help. I'm going to complain about it. I'm not going to do anything proactively. So that's it for today, people. Thank you for being there. Let's follow